Hello friend, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com. Today I'm answering a reader email from Andy. Andy writes, Zachary, is it possible to have withdrawal from retroactive jealousy? I bought your book and went through it, including all of the exercises, in one 24-hour period. Wow, that's really quick. The first 2 days were beautiful. I had no retroactive jealousy, and I was enjoying a great relationship with my wife and the kids. I helped around the house, I exercised, but the past 2 days I've been irritable, withdrawn, but still barely any retroactive jealousy. So is there a withdrawal pattern, like with substance abuse? Thanks for your email, Andy, and I'm really glad you asked this question because actually this is a topic I've been meaning to get around for a while. So sometimes when people go through my online course, Get Over Your Partner's Past Fast, or in your case they read my guidebook, Overcoming Retroactive Jealousy, or they engage with my work in some way, whether it's this YouTube channel or the blog or anything else, and they find an enormous amount of relief in a really quick period of time. And then often pretty shortly after they find my work and they've started to put in the work and all of a sudden things are much better, there's this kind of weird sense of, I'm not sure if you'd call it disorientation or confusion or whatever, where all of a sudden there's very little or maybe no retroactive jealousy. Now this isn't everyone's experience, but a lot of people write to me, describing a similar experience that you're describing, where they find my work, they put in the work, they get an enormous amount of relief, and then there's this weird sense of like, well, what's going on now, Or they might be slightly irritable like you are, or they feel a little off. My theory on this and why this happens is because retroactive jealousy, generally speaking, occupies an enormous amount of mental RAM, if we can use a computer analogy. It takes up a lot of our attention, it takes up a lot of our brain power, and when all of a sudden that is mostly gone, our body, our brain, our system doesn't quite know what to do, because quite often retroactive jealousy has maybe been plaguing us for weeks, months, sometimes even years. And all of a sudden, when that's mostly gone, like our system, our body, our brain is kind of like, well, what the hell is going on here? What is this new reality? I'm not quite sure what to make of this. Another thing that is quite common, I don't think you said this in your email, but another experience which is quite common is people who, put in the work, they really begin to overcome retroactive jealousy. And then once they make real progress, they're kind of a little bit nervous about it. Like they almost don't quite trust the progress they've made in such a short period of time. They're almost kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I want to offer a few pieces of advice for people, who are in the midst of overcoming retroactive jealousy, or people who've made an enormous amount of progress in a short period of time, and they're kind of, wondering what's next. One thing I can say is don't just be waiting around for the other shoe to drop. It's no way to live. If you've been struggling with retroactive jealousy for a long time, it's probably done a huge amount of damage, not only to, your personal life, but maybe your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend or your kids or your family life or maybe your professional life. It's probably done a lot of damage in a lot of different spheres of your life. So for God's sake, just enjoy it. Don't use this time to be worrying about the next attack or you're kind of walking on eggshells just waiting for things to happen. Enjoy this time, If you've put in the work to really start beating this for good, you deserve a break, you deserve some joy, you deserve some fun, you deserve to just enjoy this new period of freedom. Will there be bumps in the road in the future? It's quite possible. Happens to the best of us. You'll be going along great, you'll be feeling amazing, and then a month later or 6 months later or a year later or 5 years later or something will happen and you'll have a little bump in the road. Maybe some external event happens where you start getting a bit of a pang of retroactive jealousy, just a slight feeling. And by now, hopefully you've put in the work, you have all the tools, all the exercises, all the perspectives, all the practices you need, which I go over in my guidebook, my online course, and I share many on this channel as well. You have all these tools, you'll be able to handle this, don't worry, but don't live your life just kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop, waiting for things to get bad again. If you've put in the work to overcome retroactive jealousy and you're making significant progress, you owe it to yourself and your loved ones to sit back, relax, and really enjoy this time. Another piece of advice I'd like to offer is if you're feeling irritable or anxious or you're feeling like Andy described in his email on some level, again, retroactive jealousy occupies an enormous amount of mental RAM. It takes up a lot of our time and energy. And all of a sudden, once that's gone, our body, our brain, our system is kind of like, well, what's going on now? It's a bit unsettling on some level that we don't have this demon bothering us anymore. So my biggest piece of advice there is to find something new to occupy, to use up some of this now free mental RAM, whether that's a new personal development program, or whether that's a beefier, more intense workout regime, or something new you can pursue with your wife, or a new hobby or activity, or redevoting yourself to being a great father and spending even more time with your kids, or teaching your kids something new, or whatever. Take on a new project, take on a new challenge. Keep this positive forward momentum going. Just because retroactive jealousy is no longer an issue for you does not mean that your personal development, your work on yourself, has to stop. And now is a fantastic time to really double down on the progress you've made, double down on your investment into personal development, and to really keep your forward momentum in your life going. So basically take up some new challenge, some new practice, something new, that you can use up this mental RAM with, that will occupy more of your brain energy and as well as your physical energy. Give your brain, give your body, give yourself something new to do, some new challenge, some new mountain to climb, something new that will hopefully be a productive use of this energy and will help your body and brain and your spirit and your soul kind of adjust to this new reality in which you're free of retroactive jealousy. So thanks for your message, Andy. I absolutely love getting emails like this from people making real progress with their retroactive jealousy. If anyone watching this would like just a bunch of inspiration and great stories from real people, I've posted, I forget how many videos, as well as dozens and dozens and dozens of emails I receive from retroactive jealousy survivors, people who've managed to work through this issue. You can find a link to that in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this video today, if you got something from this, please be sure to click the like button below. Also make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I'll be talking to you again very, very soon.